Do you remember Blockbuster? Sometimes I miss going to the store to pick out a movie. Now, of course, I don't miss going to the store only to realize that the movie that I want to watch is not in stock, or the late fees when I didn't return my movie back on time. But at their peak in 2004, Blockbuster had 60,000 employees, 9,000 stores worldwide, and an annual revenue of $5.9 billion. At the time, only 4% of homes in America had a broadband connection, but that number skyrocketed to 68% in 2010, and that's when everyone switched from renting DVDs to streaming, and Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. But it didn't have to end that way. If only they hadn't turned down the opportunity to buy a DVD mailing company called Netflix for $50 million in 2000. Now, that might seem like a steep price tag, but it represents just 3 days of Blockbuster revenues. Netflix's value now stands at $32.9 billion. See, Blockbuster missed an opportunity. In business, it's called an opportunity cost. It's the loss of potential gain when an opportunity isn't seized. See, the key to success in business and in life is having an eye for opportunity. It's the ability to seize opportunities when they present themselves. See, your destiny will be determined by whether or not you seize the divine opportunities presented to you. And in this video, I want to show you how you can seize divine opportunities. So before we jump in, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Click on that bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out. All right, let's jump in. How do we seize divine opportunities? Number one, you need to make the most of every opportunity. Ephesians 5:15 says this: "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." Notice that it doesn't say to make the most of big opportunities or make the most of really important opportunities. No, it says make the most of every opportunity. See, many times people fail to seize small opportunities because they're too busy looking for big opportunities. But Scripture says, do not despise the day of small beginnings. You know, Joshua was a personal assistant to Moses, Elisha was an intern, and Nehemiah was a cupbearer. So you got to prove yourself when the little opportunities present themselves. And when you do that, God will bring bigger and better opportunities your way. See, if you are faithful to seize the small opportunities, you won't miss the big ones when they come. You know, I had someone in my church who came to me and they said, "Hey man, I am called to preach. I want to preach at your church." I said, "Great. You can pick up trash after the service and straighten up chairs." He said, No, you don't understand. Like, I'm called to preach. I'm called to be up on that stage and to preach the word. I said, "Not here, because if you aren't faithful with a mop, I'm not giving you a mic." See, many people miss divine opportunities because they're so focused on seizing the big opportunities that they miss the small ones that present themselves, not realizing that it's our faithfulness in the small things that opens the door for big opportunities. See, every day is filled with countless opportunities. Every day you have the opportunity to love, to serve, to give, to learn. There are countless opportunities all around you. The question is, will you seize those opportunities? Number two, be devoted to prayer. You have to be devoted to prayer. Colossians 4:2 says this: "Devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful." You know, the word watchful is a throwback to the Old Testament watchman whose job it was to sit on the city wall and scan the horizon to see if there were anybody, travelers that may be coming, or an enemy army that was attacking. See, people who devote themselves to prayer are watchmen. They see things before others see them, and they see things that others don't see. They see opportunities that other people don't see. See, people who are devoted to prayer, they see divine opportunities when other people don't even notice them. See, prayer creates watchfulness that allows us to seize divine opportunities. At the base of your brainstem, there is a cluster of nerve cells called the reticular activating system. See, we are constantly being bombarded with countless stimuli, sights, sounds, smells. If we had to process or pay attention to all the stimuli that is coming at us, it would drive us crazy. And so the reticular activating system, the RAS, kind of determines what gets noticed and what gets ignored. Think of it as a mental radar system. When I moved to Georgia, I bought a bright blue 2001 Mustang. Now, I had never had a Mustang before, and as soon as I drove the car off the lot, I saw Mustangs everywhere. It seemed like everywhere I went, every time I got in the car, I would see a Mustang on the road. It was like everyone went out and bought a Mustang at the exact same time that I did. Now, of course, they were all on the road before I bought the car, but when I bought the car, before I bought the car, I didn't notice them. But when I bought the car, it created a new cognitive category in my reticular activating system. And I'm sure you've experienced the same phenomenon with the things that you own, right? Whenever you buy something, it creates a category in your reticular activating system, which allows you to notice things that you didn't notice before. Now, you might be thinking, okay, yeah, but what does this have to do with prayer? Well, I think that when you pray for something, it creates a category in your reticular activating system in the natural and in the spiritual, which causes you to start to look for the answer. You start to look for opportunities that you previously would have missed or ignored. So if you want to seize opportunities, you have to be devoted to prayer. When you live in prayer mode, you begin to see things before others see them. You see things that other people don't see, like things that other people skip over or don't pay attention to. You notice that God is moving, that God is breathing, that God is doing something in this area. And so prayer helps you catch the opportunities God throws your way. And lastly, number 3, stop making excuses. When it comes to seizing opportunities, there will always be a long list of excuses that stand in the way. I'm too busy. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm not ready yet. Like, newsflash, you will never be ready. You will never feel ready. Like, I didn't feel like I was ready to get married before I got married. I didn't feel like I was ready to pastor the church that I lead before I became a pastor. You will never feel prepared to do what God has called you to do. But God does that on purpose because it's our lack of ability that actually causes us to rely on God rather than relying on ourselves. It focuses us and forces us to trust in God rather than trusting in ourselves. In August of 1987, Howard Schultz was faced with the biggest decision of his life. He was presented with an opportunity to purchase a small chain of coffee shops. The price tag on these coffee shops were $4 million. In his autobiography, he said, "If I didn't seize this moment and step out of my comfort zone and risk it all, my moment will pass." He said, I know if I don't take advantage of this opportunity, I will replay it in my mind, wondering, what if? And that's when Howard Schultz made the decision to give up his $75,000 salary to pursue his passion of coffee. Now, the coffee shops that Howard Schultz bought was called Starbucks, which is now worth just under $20 billion. See, at the end of our lives, we won't regret the mistakes that we made nearly half as much as the opportunities we missed. So don't just sit around wondering what if. Take a risk, seize the opportunities that God gives you, and make a difference. Hey, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor and smash that like button below for the YouTube algorithm, which helps send this video out to more people. And if you haven't already yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to this channel and bump that bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out. Thanks again for watching.